Hey, Urbana Church. Pastor Jim here with Brother Tim
How y'all doing today?
Anderson. And, so today's Memorial Sunday message is coming pre-recorded from the home of Tim Anderson. And if you're wondering where that is, go to the cemetery and turn right. Follow the drive, and you'll be at his home. But we have asked him to participate in today's message because, one, he is a United States Marine, served actively from 91 to 97, and of course he's a recent convert to Urbana in the last year and a half, but he grew up in Springfield. So he moved from Illinois to here the last year and a half, and we're happy to have him as a part of our congregation. But as a result, because of his military experience as a Marine, and I've learned that Marines never retire. They're never veterans. They're always on call. Isn't that right, sir?
Never say ex-Marine.
Ex-Marine.
It's always
And
Marine.
I made that mistake one time, and I thought I was going to get beat up. So, given, again, Memorial Sunday, wanted to invite Tim to participate. He's going to be out of town this weekend. That's why we're doing this pre-recorded with the help of Pastor Christopher, who is behind the camera. And who knows, you may hear him. He may say a few things. Who knows?
May have a cameo for us.
Yes. But in all seriousness, today's a day that we want to acknowledge the sacrifice that many men and women have made that we might have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Freedom is never free. It comes with a cost, and many thousands of thousands, as you would have observed on the video after the scripture and before the prayer and before this, that shows how many millions of people have given their life. When you total it all up for our freedom, liberty, and the opportunity to pursue happiness as God leads us to do so. And so with that, I was thinking a lot about this. I want to start this way, Tim, is the fact that there is a redeeming quality in sacrifice. Like we always think of, I don't know about you, but to lose weight is sacrifice. I'm not doing well in that neighborhood, but there's a cost to it, but there's a redeeming quality for that. There's always an inconvenience to sacrifice, but there is a redemption, a benefit, right, through sacrifice.
That's right.
And I was thinking about this, and in Mark 10, verse 45, it says, "For even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve others and to give his life, offer his life as a sacrifice, as a ransom for many." Romans 3:23 reminds us all of sin falls short of the glory of God, that nobody lives up to God's perfect standard. Yeah. So Jesus intervened, and it's like a ransom. It's like all these cool movies we see on TV. Somebody's been held ransom. They pay the ransom. The person's life is redeemed, and they get that life back. Jesus offered his life as a ransom. He gave his life. He paid the penalty so that we might have life and have it to the full. So that was a sacrifice he made, but that had a redeeming quality. And in addition, in John chapter 15, beginning with verse 12, as we read previously, it says, "This is my commandment." This is Jesus. "Love each other in the same way I've loved you. There is," now get this, "there is no greater love than to lay down one's life for one's friend." Now, you see, there is no greater love. There's the benefit. There's the redemption. There is the quality that comes when we give ourselves to another. And we can give ourselves in a variety of ways. We can give ourselves when we take time to talk to somebody. We can give ourselves when we offer our material resources to benefit another. We can give ourselves in a variety of ways. But as we do that, even though you might say that's a sacrifice, it costs us something, there is a redeeming quality to that. We feel the blessing that God offers as a result of that. Now, when you give your life, that's the ultimate sacrifice. But it is a redeeming sacrifice. And, my uncle Neil Littlebridge, served in World War II, Battle of the Bulge, was injured on Normandy's beach. Was a sergeant, led a platoon. On Normandy, he lost everybody but himself. Then he got well and had the privilege then to get to go back and serve in the Battle of the Bulge, and saw many of his squadron lost, making the sacrifice. And his words say this. This is from his pen. He's recently deceased at the age of 98.
Wow.
Great American hero in my mind. And his own pen, he says, and they have, and you might want to talk about this, Tim, is survivor's remorse. I was a sergeant, he said. I should have died, not these men. They were great men. They went out and willingly died because they knew that in their effort, they would bring redemption. They would offer themselves for the sake of the freedom, liberties that we enjoy to this day. Those were the kinds of men. That's a redeeming quality.
Yeah.
Don't you think? And so...
No, I agree. I spent, from 92 to 93, I was in Somalia, Africa. For those of you that remember that, it was originally supposed to be a humanitarian operation. And for those of you that have been around long enough to know, it didn't turn out to be that. Short term, we got a lot of good done, but longer term, not so much. But I had a good friend. His name is Mark Schuneman. He was from Sheboygan, Wisconsin. And he ended up giving the ultimate sacrifice over there. And he was a guy that worked for me. I was a corporal at the time. And I know exactly what your relative was saying. It's, why did he have to go? Why was he the one? Such a great person, do anything for anybody type of person. Always the first to volunteer for anything we needed to do or run point or whatever. Just a really solid individual. And, when you got people like that around you, and we made sure, we made sure only people like that were around us. Especially when you get into those kinds of situations, you don't want layabouts or shirkers or people that might get somebody else killed. But I would definitely agree. It made me feel whole to be able to go back and talk to his mom and his family. Wow. and let them know, how he gave his life and why.
So you did that.
Yep.
That's powerful, sir.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's one of the hardest things that you've ever done.
Yeah, it was. He was a really good guy, just one of those people. It's funny. He was actually, we called him. He was a retread. So he was an Army guy. got up to E4 or corporal in the Army, I think specialist in the Army, and then got out for about a year and then said, I don't like this civilian stuff, so I'm going to go back in and going to go into the Marines. What a lot of people don't realize is any branch of service outside of the Marines, if you want to go into the Marines, you have to go into their boot camp and you lose a pay grade. So he went back in, had to go to our boot camp.
They're the only ones.
That's right.
They've got an attitude, right?
Well, it's funny because like if you got out of the Marines and wanted to go to the Air Force or the Army or the Navy,
then you could just go.
You could just skip their boot camp because
but not
the other way around. So maybe a little pompous, but 13 weeks on parasite, I don't know. Definitely make a man or a woman out of you, depending upon what's going on. But yeah, it's I look at Memorial Day in a lot of different ways. I always feel a little. For people that know me, know that I don't take compliments well. I'm a pretty humble guy. Even got dinged on my performance review at work for being too humble, which I thought was weird, but whatever. But the funny thing is that when I think of Memorial Day, I think of not just veterans, which obviously is one of the reasons why we're celebrating Memorial Day, but I think of all the people that do jobs that require a significant amount of empathy and a significant amount of their own personal time, and not even jobs, like what you guys do. I mean, we should be celebrating, what pastors do. We should be celebrating what nurses do, cops. Look what has happened the other day in Texas. What teachers do. What people that were down there did to try to help. That they're currently down there trying to help all those families out. I mean, not trying to take anything away from veterans because I am one, but I think there's a lot to be thankful for the people out there that do a lot of the stuff that a lot of people don't want to do, and they do it from a clean heart and a good place.
Mm-hmm. And that's a redeeming quality.
That's right.
Right? As we talked before, there is, when you sign up, right? I am not a veteran. Okay. My father was in Korea in the Air Force. My father-in-law was in the Marines. He is, as he still maintains, I'm not a was Marine. I am a Marine.
That's right.
And when he had open heart surgery, and I went in his room to see him, he was caught. Because they had to cut him open, and so he had this pillow, this little teddy bear, and the nurse came in when he was coughing and holding on to this in great pain. And the nurse said, "How are you doing?" He goes, "I am a United States Marine. I am fine, and I will be fine, and I will overcome." So it was that. And then what do Marines say? Not hoorah.
Hoorah.
That is Marine.
That's
because
right.
one is Army and one is Marine.
Yeah. And then you got a lot of things around, adaptability. If there's one thing that I learned, that I've taken through my entire life, adaptability and discipline, being able to just grind it out. And that helps in pretty much any facet of life, no matter what you do for a living or, you're doing chores, this is annoying as but I'm going to grind it out. I'm going to stick with it,
Amen. That's awesome. That's awesome. So, Tim, as, many times on Memorial Day, and we'll have, everybody, don't forget, at Oakdale Cemetery, there will be a Memorial Day service that morning, and it's always it's always a solemn but very appropriate recognition of the many lives, the many people who made the ultimate sacrifice. Greater love has no one than this, than one laid down his life for his friends. And I love that Jesus said friends, because you know what? In the military, those guys laid down their life. They weren't thinking of you and me or anybody else. Friends.
They're thinking about the guy standing next to them.
And it, to me, is that what I have also discovered is over time is in the different communities where I have served in pastoral ministry, we started this Memorial Sunday service, and what I find is that active military that are present, those who are no longer active, the veterans, they don't want to talk about themselves.
No.
They want to talk only about those
Who left behind.
who left behind, and they want to tell the stories of those that were left behind. Would you want to say anything else about that?
Yeah.
I mean, that was a great illustration you said previously, but
Yeah, I mean, one of the interesting things, especially since I went into the Marines right after the Gulf War, so it was just ending. Spent a little time in Kuwait training the Kuwaiti army. I do that in quotes because it's kind of a joke. But the second time we were supposed to go to Kuwait was in December of 1992. We were literally on the plane, and all of a sudden we're in Cairo, Egypt. I'm like, what are we doing here? Get off the plane. Oh, you're going to Somalia.
you didn't know you were in.
No.
You didn't know where you were going.
No.
Okay.
And get off the plane. They're like, hey, you're heading to Somalia. I'm like, really? Where's that? Right? I didn't know. And then they hand you
The other end of.
then they hand you your issued rounds, and I used to carry an M203 because I was a communications guy, so I had a bandolier of grenades and then 6 full magazines of M16 7.62, and then you realize, oh.
So just so you know, I have no idea what he was talking about there, but it sounds dangerous. Okay, so please continue.
It's one of those things where you realize immediately, like, oh, this is just went from casual to, oh, this is something real. And then when we flew into the airport in Mogadishu, it was a couple days. If you guys remember watching stupid CNN film, the SEALs come up onto the beach. When we landed, as we were landing, there was holes coming through the plane, and then we realized that they were shooting at the plane as we were landing.
Good grief.
So you know really quickly. I mean, when we're talking about sacrifice and being able to trust people, really fast who's going to be able to stand up next to you and who's not. Mm-hmm. And I was a comm guy, so a lot of the people that we felt that either they weren't able to do what they needed to do, they got put on like retrans sites, so they basically got nowhere by them with one other guy that
right.
where they weren't going to get hurt,
right.
or potentially cause somebody else to get hurt. But those first few months, we did a lot of good. We delivered a lot of grain to a lot of really starving people. These warehouses were unbelievable that the warlords had taken over there, and I mean some of the biggest warehouses I've ever seen in my life. I mean, 10, 12 football fields long, 2 or 3 football fields high, full of grain. And we started trucking that stuff out of there, and they would try to hit us every time we got out of there. And I was in comm, so we would run the front and the back of the convoys, which is with the antennas on the Humvee. So those are the absolute 2 worst places to be.
Right.
Because one of them's probably got a lieutenant in it, and the other one's got
exactly.
something else they want. Right. So it's one of those things you never forget. You never forget the people you served with. You never forget the people that didn't make it back. I still think about those guys, and gals. We didn't have any women that got killed, but there was women that served with us over there as well. That it's just something you don't forget, and something I don't really talk about a whole lot, but definitely shapes you as a person and a human being, and makes you realize how lucky we got it over here. You can go down the street to Burger King, get you a double cheeseburger and some fries, and you're good to go.
Making me hungry, buddy.
You're good to go, right?
Let's not forget the Super Whopper.
The Super Whopper.
Or Double Whopper, whatever it's called.
Right. But I guess at the end of the day, if I had to say anything, I'd say, if you hear the national anthem or you listen to taps at a funeral, put your hand on your heart, stand up straight, give the people the respect that they deserve.
Mm-hmm. That's powerful. Thanks, Tim.
Yep.
And the other point that you made was that in your mission to Somalia, you're trying to bring grain out to serve the people.
That's right.
And the whatever you want to
criminals,
call the criminals are trying to keep you from serving the people.
That's right.
And how many times have think about it. World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam. Why are we there? It isn't because somebody's knocking on our door trying to take our lives.
Yep.
It's because the world needed us.
That's right.
For humanitarian reasons. Right?
That's right. I mean, we try, I think in a lot of cases, and of course you could say what you will about the last couple of conflicts that we've been in, but in a lot of cases we start from a place of hope to try to help people out, maybe bring democracy, maybe bring food, what have you. Didn't always turn out, always the best way, but I think that we've done a lot of good for a lot of people around the world, and you wonder why there's so many people that want to come and live here, that want to come and immigrate here. Right? They want to come and live here because they know it's a land of opportunity. If they work hard and they have a shot, in some of the places where they're from, and trust me, I've been to some of these places. They don't have a shot in heck. I was going to say hell. I did say hell.
Hades.
They don't have a shot in heck of making
Hades.
In Hades, right? And at least if they can come here and work hard and raise a family, and it's just like none of us are Native Americans, or maybe some of us are, but it's just like our ancestors came over from Ireland, England, all the places over in Europe. It's just a new wave of people coming over trying to better their lives.
God save the Queen.
That's right.
That's my people. So, well, Tim, man, this has been awesome, and I appreciate your insights and your story, your testimony, and it just reminds us of the importance of Memorial Day. And so we wanted to take a moment to simply lift that reality up and know that while no greater love has anyone that laid down his life for his friend or her life for her friend, we remember that Jesus paid the ultimate sacrifice.
That's right.
He was the ultimate example in which is followed many times throughout the year through our active military and through those that we remember today. And it's a powerful testimony. It's a powerful witness. But may we always know that no one died in vain, right? And that's our responsibility, to make sure that those liberties that people died for will never be thrown aside. And that's our responsibility. But it's a redeeming reminder of that. And so Memorial Day, any other last comments?
I'd say, the one thing I always think about around Memorial Day is it helps us keep those people alive in our hearts, and the people that did give the ultimate sacrifice. Helps us understand what we've got and makes us even that more appreciative of what we have. And I look at our mission at the church, grow, gather, go. I mean, look at all the good that we do with sacrificing our time and our money and our heart, right? We do. Mm-hmm. I mean, I've never been a part of something like this, and I'll say I get excited every time we start some new project or some new initiative where we're going to go out and help people, because it's just great. And there's no tit for tat. It's not transactional. It's just, we're just going to do this because it's the right thing to do.